Alright, welcome back to the SuperCoach NFL channel. This video we're going to review week 1 of the 2025 NFL SuperCoach season. And a great start for us. We scored 552, which was 84th for the round. So top 100 in the first week, out of 30,000 teams in the comp as well. So absolutely stoked with that result. If we have a look at the team and how they went, so we had Jalen Hurts as our VC. He scored a 48, and we thought about the loophole, but then decided to back in our captain, which worked out really well for us. And then today, JJ McCarthy, slow start, looks like it was going to be a bit of a struggle to make some cash, and then he just goes bang bang at the end. 46 points. He is off and running for this season. Going big at running back, I think, paid off for week 1. Saquon was okay with a 32. Bijan was good with 42. CMC with 36. It was a bit of an injury cloud, but we stuck fat and were rewarded. And Achane with a 30-point return was quite good too. On our bench, Genty with a 21. I know a lot of players started Genty going 3 premium running backs, so I think the extra premium helped out. And Amarian Hampton with a 13. I guess the Chargers were a little bit more pass heavy than what we thought they would be, but I think Hampton is still a good money maker. Wide receiver, so I think quite a few people missed out here. Jamar Chase, obviously with the 7, was a bit flat. And given I had one worse score, I actually had to take that 7. So obviously there was room for improvement this week. Jefferson getting a touchdown, saved his score with the 24. CeeDee Lamb with the 29 was good. Dak looked really good as well, so I think he is a keeper. Pearsall, 25 points was good, and then news that George Kittle is missing may help Pearsall, but then also the fact that Purdy is questionable for week 2 may balance that out a bit. Ted McMillan with 18 was okay, but Buka was the gun rookie this week with a 42-point return. So he's going to make us some good cash nice and quickly. Travis Hunter with 12 was an okay start, and Golden with just a 5. Jordan Love did sort of spread the ball around a bit in that game against Detroit. And also they were pretty reliant on Josh Jacobs at running back. So might be a slow burn there. If another cheapie pops up, we may be able to pivot. At tight end, TJ Hawkinson didn't quite get the output we were hoping for, just a 6-point return for him this week. But Kincaid was good with a 25, and Tyler Warren with a 22-point return on our bench, so good start for him. The cheap kickers come good. Gloop with a 26 on field, Borogalis with 16. We did get the defense wrong. New England was still pretty good with 14-point return at 4 million. That's a pretty decent score. But San Fran with a 22-point return was the way to go. And then as you can see, our captain this week was Josh Allen in that freak of a game against Baltimore. He scored 77, captained him. Pretty sure he was the top scorer this week. Not that I've double-checked all the scores just yet. But yeah, great work there from the captain. In terms of the leagues, we haven't kicked off this week with the head-to-head leagues. And as you can see, we are missing one in the first league. We've had a late dropout. So I'll put the link below this description, just first in, best dressed, or you can see the code there. So if you wanted to join in, even if you join the second league, we'll put you in there because I don't want to have to kick someone out. Or even worse, get a random in there. So actually, I want to go to the game day, don't I? That's the one. So in the first league, I actually top scored. I guess I think there was one score higher. I just don't remember what league it was in. But Travis with a 531 for Kyron Out Loud. Great pun name. So he had Jaden Daniels score a 39. Brock Bowers with a 25. Apparently he's under a bit of an injury cloud too. So if you did go the two guns, Bowers and Kittle, maybe forced to trade this week, which is very unlucky. But played Warren, which is nice. Had Genty. Neighbours with a 19, considering from all reports Russell Wilson was terrible. Kyron Williams with the 26 was good. Nico Collins a bit flat, but that matched up nicely with Jamar Chase. But Josh Allen as captain as well is where it's at. In the 12-team league, so again high score in this league, but inside out, David's team with the 531 was the next best. So he had Lad McConkey for a 20. Cam Little as a kicker, 30 points, was great. Had Lamar as captain, so obviously unlucky he didn't go Josh Allen. Different captain, he probably would have outpointed me. But played the San Fran defense, which was nice. Drake London with 19 was good. So must have been in the overall league. So I should have guessed that because it says second out of 27. So well done to Jason's team, the Avalon Packers, with a 555. So got me by 3. So he had Denver's defense, so paid up a bit in defense, but he does have Kittle and Bowers, so that's unfortunate with injuries there. Derrick Henry with 56 was amazing. And actually played McCarthy, which is pretty wild. So I'm guessing he's gone with Ward on the bench. Yep. So unlucky for him, only scored 4 this week, but week 1, just let him get into it a bit. Across the league, we'll have a look. So Josh Allen was the top scorer by a fair distance. Lamar Jackson also in that same game, very popular in terms of ownership. So if you went with the two guns at quarterback, you've done well. Daniel Jones was a bit of a surprise with 58. Justin Fields, my man, who I didn't have the stones to start with, 58 this week. So he is going to offer some great value at 13 or almost 14 mil. Derrick Henry, we saw Justin Herbert was really good in that game against the Chiefs. And speaking of which, Mahomes was up there too. So, I think the two premium quarterback sort of option has been justified. But I think, Fields has proven to be that best mid-price option that I was referring to. But outside the quarterbacks, obviously Henry number 1. I'll just skip past. Zay Flowers was immense with a 48 this week. More quarterbacks. Quentin Johnston was one that we weren't expecting to go off with a 44 this week. Keon Coleman with a 42 at under 10 mils, pretty handy. Bijan's up there. Garrett Wilson, despite having Justin Fields thrown to him, did the business. Javonte Williams started off well with 2 touchdowns and a 38. Debo, so I've got him in my redraft league. He was sitting on my bench, but he's very intriguing. Scored a 37 this week. Puka Nakua, he's probably the first sort of keeper upgrade that I'm targeting. 36 this week. Looks like he just absolutely owns it there at the Rams. And then, Schrader, the kicker, went all right. 32. But we'll have a look at some break-evens. Not the break-evens being too much in week 1 because the prices don't change, but you just get to see those cheapies. So McCarthy, number 1 on the list with a negative 33. So if you don't have him as your bench quarterback at least, I think you need to get him in. Abuka, must-have wide receiver. Krosky Merritt, or Bill as he is known, so 28 this week. Looked pretty good from all reports. So if he goes big again next week, we may have to find a way to bring him in. We may have to forego Hampton for that quick cash. Penix at his price, producing a 47 is pretty good value. So I guess if you can't quite afford a Fields, maybe a Penix is the way to go. pretty much everyone should have Loop as a kicker. Dylan Sampson, so a couple of touchdowns. I think they were both off receiving passes. So he's an interesting one if you're looking for a point of difference. Um, just maybe wait and see what happens with Judkins there at the Browns before you full send Sampson. Fields, as I said, I do like as a mid price option at quarterback. Coleman and Flowers, so obviously a good start. Just wide receiver can be quite volatile though, so just keep an eye out for if they can repeat that this week. Javonte Williams, yeah, sort of that. If you've gone a mid pricer and can't afford to go up, he might be your ticket going down a bit. Um, Schrader is the kicker. It's not the most expensive, so you could look at that. Austin, not sure. Obviously, with Aaron Rodgers throwing to him, maybe a few more targets on offer, but have another look first. Tyler Warren, Ashton Genty, again, probably should be in everyone's teams. The Jacksonville D, not sure how they got to 22, but I wouldn't be bothered trading too many defences. Fannin is an interesting one at tight end at the price, but again, probably give him another look. Hollywood Brown looks like he might take that role from Xavier Worthy, so might prove a bit of value at 7.2 mil, but I'm not tempted myself. A few defenses. Uh, Tongs is an interesting one with George Kittle injured. He might elevate to become the starting tight end at bottom dollar at San Fran with their great schedule and obviously all their attacking weapons there. Travis Etienne is an interesting one. So there was a bit of competition at Jacksonville, but they have traded Bigsby to the Eagles. So I think it's Etienne's position there as RB1 at 8 mil. I think there's a good bit of value there. Um, Quentin Johnston, probably a bit too expensive to look at. Ted McMillan, yeah, get him in as a cheapie. Pittman Jr. is a bit of an interesting one if you're a brave person. That's definitely not me. RJ Harvey went all right with a 15 to start. Travion Henderson with a 15. So if you've got these guys, don't necessarily panic. I wouldn't be trading them for a Samson um, or a Krosky Merritt. Although, again, if Krosky Merritt goes big again this week, then maybe I would. um, but yeah, after that, we're sort of getting into the positives. Dalton Kincaid, my man, has started off well, so all is good. So, in terms of the team and trades this week, holding trades, I don't believe there's any injuries through the team. Jamar will bounce back. Jefferson, Lamb look good. Pearsall, we believe in. We do have a bit of money, so we could look at, maybe Golden up to someone in that 8 mil range, like I've just completely forgotten who it was that was at 8 mil, wide receiver. Go back and have a look at the video and tell me. Um, or I don't know if I can afford him, but how's McBride? 14 point. Yeah, I don't think I can quite afford to go Hawkinson up to McBride. Um, with Bowers and Kittle going down, I think he might be the keeper to start the season, but we'll back Hawkinson in. Um, yeah, so no trades this week. Hopefully these guys can keep doing the business and we'll go from there. But vice captain and captain. So the Thursday night game is Green Bay, Washington. We don't really have any assets there. And then the later games, looking at Houston. Oh, so there's two games on Monday night or Tuesday Australian time. Houston, Tampa, Raiders, Chargers. So yeah, maybe Genty if you're feeling spicy as a late captain. Um, but I don't think it's a loophole week. So I'm just going to stick with Allen up against the Jets. There was a high scoring game against Pittsburgh this week. And well, Buffalo was a high scoring game against um, the Ravens. So I probably think the Ravens defense is slightly better than the Jets. So we'll back Allen in, and the the rematch of the Super Bowl. So Jalen Hurts will just leave as the VC this week. Um, I guess rookie roulette with the wide receivers might be a point. I think you've got to play a Booker after what he showed in week one and against Houston. I think that's a decent matchup. Carolina and Arizona. So Tet looks okay. Jacksonville against the Bengals. So that was a pretty low scoring game from the Bengals. Um, so yeah, I think we're happy enough. Yeah, and as I said, Golden, he will go off at some stage. I think we've just got to be patient. So I think, yeah, that's the team. Pretty boring that it's the same, but with the great start we've got, um, we'll back him in again. So we'll wrap the video up there. Just again, a reminder: if you do want to join in, the league code there 854818. I will put a link in the description below this video so that we're all full up, ready to kick off the head to head this week. But yeah, any other questions, comments, thoughts, feel free to add them below this video. Give us a like if you enjoy the NFL content. Subscribe for all the fantasy sports content on the channel. And other than that, we'll catch you in the next one.